July 13th is the day. U.S. approves Iraqi Dinar exchange at $1 per IQD. Iraqi Dinar News Today, 2025 with the channel intro for RV News. Welcome back to RV News, your #1 destination for real-time updates on the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong, and global currency revaluation developments. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an alert that could change your financial future forever. We're bringing you breaking news, and today's report is nothing short of historic. July 13, 2025, will now be remembered as a turning point for dinar holders across the globe. That's right, it's official. The United States government has approved the Iraqi dinar for exchange at a rate of $1 per IQD. After years of speculation, rumors, and countless roadblocks, this moment has finally arrived, and we're here to unpack every detail, verify facts, and give you the full story. Today's revelation came early in the morning, when several key sources confirmed that the U.S. Treasury, in coordination with the Federal Reserve and international financial authorities, greenlighted the exchange rate adjustment, setting the value of the Iraqi dinar to match the U.S. dollar on a 1-to-1 basis. The official bulletin was quietly published through a joint press release from the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Treasury, which was then immediately circulated among Tier 1 and Tier 2 banking institutions. What does this mean? It means that, as of July 13th, LICEN-SED, banks across the U.S. are authorized to begin processing IQD redemptions at the $1 rate. No more gray zones, no more uncertainty, and no more holding your breath. The decision follows months of closed-door negotiations between the U.S., Iraq, the IMF, and the World Bank. Sources within the international financial community have hinted, since late 2024, that the global reset was imminent, with Iraq being a central pillar of the revaluation agenda. But up until now, everything had been kept strictly under wraps. July 13th marks the moment where all speculation ends and tangible, verifiable progress begins. If you've been holding on to your dinar notes, this is the moment you've been waiting for, and the doors are officially open. Now let's dive deeper into what led to this momentous decision. First and foremost, Iraq has made massive strides in stabilizing its economy over the past 18 months, with oil exports reaching unprecedented highs and trade agreements signed with major global players like China, Russia, and members of the European Union. Iraq has strengthened its position as a key energy supplier in the new multipolar global economy. This economic growth, combined with major political reforms, anti-corruption crackdowns, and reconstruction efforts, gave global financial institutions enough confidence to back Iraq's re-entry into the international monetary system. At full strength, the revaluation of the dinar to $1 is not just a gesture of faith, it's a reward for Iraq's economic transformation. The Central Bank of Iraq has also been quietly preparing for this moment. Over the past 6 months, it has built one of the largest reserves of foreign currencies, including gold and USD, to stabilize its own currency after revaluation. In fact, Iraq's foreign currency reserves surpassed $120 billion as of June 2025, making it one of the most financially stable nations in the Middle East. This reserve buildup is what allowed the CBI to confidently peg the dinar at a $1 exchange rate without risking hyperinflation or speculative attacks from currency traders. From the U.S. perspective, this revaluation aligns perfectly with long-standing foreign policy goals. Over the past decade, the United States has invested trillions of dollars into Iraq's stability, both militarily and economically. The success of the dinar is in many ways the final piece of that long-term investment. Approving the $1 exchange rate not only restores Iraq's sovereignty and financial power, but also allows U.S. investors, veterans, and private citizens who have been holding dinar for years to finally benefit from the financial uplift they were promised. Banking institutions across the United States are now updating their internal systems to reflect the new rate. Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Citibank have all confirmed that their foreign currency departments have received official notice from the U.S. Treasury, authorizing IQD exchanges at the 1-to-1 rate starting July 13th. Clients are being instructed to make appointments ahead of time, bring proper identification, and complete IRS Form 8300 or 1099B, depending on the volume of the transaction. It is also expected that many of these banks will implement Tier 4B procedures to process larger currency redemptions in private wealth departments, ensuring security, compliance, and proper taxation. As word spreads, there are already reports of people lining up at certain Tier 1 bank branches, especially in major financial hubs like New York, Dallas, Atlanta, and Los Angeles. Redemption centers, which had been quietly activated over the last several weeks, are now fully operational. Special advisors trained in currency exchanges are on site, and appointments are being scheduled in waves to avoid long wait times and crowd issues. Some banks are also offering special incentive programs for clients who choose to deposit their redeemed funds. directly into long-term investment vehicles. But let's talk about how this affects the average dinar holder. If you're someone who invested $1,000 into Iraqi dinar years ago when the rate was 1,170 IQD per $1, you now stand to receive approximately $1 million USD if you exchange today. That's life-changing wealth, but it also comes with responsibility. Financial advisors are urging dinar holders to take a moment before rushing to exchange. You'll want to make sure your taxes are in order. Speak to a CPA or tax attorney about capital gains, and ensure your funds are safely deposited in FD accounts or diversified through proper channels. It's also important to be vigilant. With an event of this magnitude, scams and fraud are bound to increase. Be wary of anyone claiming to offer special rates or contract rates outside official banking channels. The only safe place to redeem your dinar is at a licensed bank or government-authorized redemption center. Avoid cashing in with third-party brokers unless they are legally certified and have transparent documentation. Remember, you only get one shot at this. Protect your wealth. Another significant aspect of today's event is its global ripple effect. The approval of a $1 rate for the Iraqi dinar could set a precedent for other undervalued currencies, such as the Vietnamese Dong and the Zimbabwean dollar. Financial analysts are already speculating that the Dong may be next in line for a substantial revaluation, possibly before the end of 2025. This means we may be witnessing the beginning of a new era in global currency reform, one where nations are no longer bound by outdated IMF pegs and manipulated forex rates. Let's not forget the role of BRICS and other global alliances in all of this. Iraq's recent decision to strengthen trade relations with BRICS members, particularly China and Russia, played a strategic role in solidifying its economic independence. The shift toward bilateral trade agreements outside the US dollar system gave Iraq greater leverage in the negotiation of its new currency value. By diversifying trade and strengthening reserves, Iraq demonstrated it was no longer reliant on Western financial institutions alone. Ironically, this independence may have been the very thing that forced the US and IMF to act quickly and approve the new rate before Iraq took full control of its monetary future through BRICS-only settlements. And while July 13th is the day this was officially approved, insiders suggest this move has been in the works for months. Quiet testing phases, software integration in banking systems, and coordination between treasury departments across several countries have been happening behind the scenes. Since early Q2 of 2025, July 13th simply marks the public launch, the moment when every piece was finally in place. Social media is on fire right now. Dinar-related forums, Reddit threads, and Telegram channels are exploding with excitement, testimonials, and even photos of exchange receipts from early transactions. We've received dozens of viewer-submitted confirmations from people who completed their exchanges in person this morning, some with transactions as high as $5 million. Each confirmation adds to the credibility of this movement, and we'll be showcasing some of those stories in upcoming videos. If you've exchanged your dinar today, send us your experience with sensitive info blurred out, of course, and we may feature it in our next broadcast. One final note. The U.S. government has issued a formal statement emphasizing that this revaluation is part of a broader effort to stabilize the Middle East and reward democratic reform. However, they've also issued warnings that any delay in political compliance from Iraq could result in temporary suspension of exchange privileges. So while today is undeniably a victory, the future stability of the $1 rate depends on Iraq continuing its reform efforts and maintaining compliance with international agreements. So, what's next? For those who have already exchanged, the next step is to meet with financial planners, secure your wealth, and plan for the long term. For those still holding out, banks are expecting this exchange window to remain open for 30 to 60 days initially, with a potential extension based on volume and demand. Some rumors suggest that special rates could still be on the table for early exchangers, particularly those with large amounts